So the concept of truth in a transformation is critical. There are two aspects to it, the organisational truth and the personal truth. And uncovering those realities through an honest and frank assessment at the outset is critical for any organisation facing a transformation. A transformation, as we know, is a complex, disruptive, time-consuming exercise where you deconstruct an organisation and reconstruct it in a different form.
And one of the things that I notice about that is that it's the difference between what is a transformation and what is a collection of superficial changes that would typically lack in energy, because people will know it's not really transforming, it's not really connecting with people, it's not really being honest. And I think that when you have these organisational truth conversations, it lifts the organisation and you feel that you're doing transformation, not a project of small changes.
And because transformation is so disruptive, akin to flying a plane and changing engines in midair, it can't be done by a mandate or an edict from the top. It has to be a collaborative, inclusive process, and therefore uncovering and discovering that truth and enabling people to align and start to build belief in why this is happening is an essential ingredient to maintain momentum and sustain people's energy as you go through it.
Is what you're asking me to, is what you're telling me, is it meaningful? Do you really mean what you say? And my view is, from a leadership perspective, say what you mean and mean what you say. And if somebody is promoting and suggesting a mandate around transformation and people feel that it's not meaningful, they're never going to get on board with it.
When we talk about truth, then it's almost as if we're talking about something religious. And rather than interpreting what it means, what the truth means, and once we understand what that is, that it's the real world that we're operating in, and part of the truth is this is a major undertaking that you're taking on here, and you can't take this on as a part-time job for everybody else and pile more work onto them. That's another part of the truth. So the personal truth then is that sacrifice has to be made. I don't mean in terms of individuals, but in terms of the work, in terms of prioritisation. And how many times have we been in the situation where we're on an assignment with a client and we can just tell that we're not in that sort of authentic, truthful environment. But with this concept of organisational truth leading on to personal truth, this I think is a fundamental game changer in creating the conditions in which at least these major transformations can have a chance of success, and the first part of creating the appropriate environment.
Coming from that place of autonomy where everybody is treated as adults, aligns with our philosophy around how we help organisations to execute transformation, where it's very much more like a coaching relationship rather than let us tell you what to do kind of relationship. And it's so much more powerful and empowering for organisations to do it that way. And so that's a key principle for us.
It's a bit like a mountain climbing expedition. You wouldn't attempt the climb without any formal preparation and assume that everybody's emotionally, physically and psychologically ready for the climb. You would try to understand what the truth is amongst your team to ensure that the relevant preparation is in place in order for that epic event to happen. In a similar way in transformation, if you don't recognise the truth within your current reality, right, and address the shortfalls before you embark on transformation, it's not likely to succeed.
It's interesting because we're asking organisations to work differently. So if they're coming from that I was very struck by what you said, so if they're coming from that very structured mindset and way of thinking, to ask them to look at transforming their organisations by taking a more lateral view and an autonomous view. So they're actually learning to change profoundly themselves and to have belief in the transformation and the approach to that transformation, that they would be recognised and supported by operating that way. That's actually quite a big ask, and that needs an awful lot of support that often I don't see.
Yeah.